Hey guys, 8-Bit Squid here and welcome to this Playmaker tutorial. In this tutorial, as you probably already know, it's all about teleporting. Now in this video we're going to go over two methods. The first method will be when our player leaves the camera view here on this side, he will reappear on the camera on this side, and then vice versa. We leave this side, we'll reappear on this side. So we'll teleport from here to here. The second way will be, I'll be using a controller for this, but you can do it however you want with a mouse, or you can set up other keys to make it work. But yeah, I'll be setting up so I can use the right stick here to move a target, and then our player will move to that target. So we can basically teleport from, say, here to over here, or from here to here. Okay, so we're going to set up our first one here with the teleport zone. Now, just to make sure that this will work for everyone with no kind of like errors, we're going to be using 6 states. Technically, you could do it with maybe 3, but Playmaker can be a bit funny sometimes with it, so this way should cause no problems. So we're going to add our 6 states here in a new FSM in a nice circle. And let's call this teleport. Okay, and we're just going to put a finish transition on all of them. And we'll put them in a circle. Okay, so state 1, this is going to be player touch. Here we'll say get position. Here we will add to position, set position, wait, and here we'll call this activate. Alright, so on the first one, we're going to want to have a trigger enter, or trigger 2D event, sorry. I always say trigger enter because that's what it's set to as default. Okay, next on here, we want to get position 2D. And just to make sure that it does transition, we'll choose a next frame event. Here, next frame event and a float add. Again, here, next frame and set position 2D, as well as an activate game object. State 5, which should be wait, didn't save. We want to literally tell it to, as it says, wait. And then the last one, we want next frame, as well as activate game object. Alright, so starting from here, we want to have a collide tag with a player, and we're going to send that to finished. Then we want to get a game object's position. Now we're not going to use the owner's position. We want to get our player's position, so we're going to specify the game object and put our player in here. Now, normally we probably want to use a vector 2, but in this case we're going to use the X and Y here. So we're going to create 2 new global variables, say player X, and then here player Y. Okay, and then we just put finished here. Okay, then when it comes to add, you want to basically work out the distance between these points here. And say, because mine's -9 and +9, without the decimals. I will say 19 here. Okay, so I'm just gonna go to globals to player X, and I'm going to add 19, and then go to next frame event finished. You probably want to mess around with this one depending on the size of your screen to make sure it looks how you want it to look. So just change the position there, and then the number here until you're happy with how far away it is to where you want it to appear. Okay, then where it says set position, we're going to choose, first of all, set position 2D. Want to specify game object and put our player here. It's important to do this, otherwise it's going to move our teleport zone. And then we're going to choose here player X for X, and for Y, player Y. Okay. Then where it comes to activate game object, we're going to specify game object, and we are going to deactivate our second teleport zone here. So pop that in here, and then choose to uncheck the box on activate. So that's now deactivate teleport zone, and then we're going to finish with wait. You want to work out like how long it's going to take your player to clear the zone. Now with my speed of my player set up here, it's probably take about 0.5 or 6. I'll put 0.6 seconds. Finished in real time. So just mess around and see how long it takes, and you can change the time here as well to suit your needs. And then finally, we're going to activate game object. We're going to specify the game object, and we're going to activate our teleport zone 1, and we're going to go to finished. Now, technically, as I said earlier, I think I said 3, or technically you could do it with 4 states. But, as I say, sometimes Playmaker can be funny with the collider here. So, this way it will ensure that no matter what, it's going to work. Okay, so we're going to copy the state here. We're going to copy the component, so we can just copy component, go to teleport zone 1, and I'm going to click on the 3 dots here and paste component as new. And then all we need to do is, instead of float add, you could put -19, but I prefer to have it done correctly here, so I'm going to put a float subtract. And then we're going to put player X, and we're going to subtract 19. Then all we need to do here is we're going to deactivate teleport zone 1, and then activate teleport zone 1 here. Not teleport zone 1, is teleport zone, I mean, for both of them. Okay, so now if we hit play, hopefully, when I jump off here, you'll see I reappear here, jump off here, and I come back there. So like you see here, when I reappear here, it looks a bit off. So technically I could then say, okay, let's subtract, say 17, and see how that looks. Maybe that's a bit too much, so maybe I'd need it to be, say, like 18 point something. So let's jump through here, and then through here. That doesn't look too bad. But yeah, so you just mess around with it. So let's say, let's put it at 18.5. And then hopefully that will be very similar to how it looks there. Okay, there we go. That looks fine to me. Okay, so that is the first method done. Now, for this one, like I said, I'm going to be using my controller for this method, using the right stick. So for this, you're going to be using the 5th and 4th axis. So basically, to set up your right stick for Playmaker, if you want to do it my way, just go to Project Settings, and you want to add some more axes, so increase your size. And I've got two here called right hori and right vert, meaning right horizontal and right vertical for the stick. So the name you need to remember, and then, so for right hori, my gravity is 3, dead zone is 0.001, and sensitivity is 3. And we're going to choose type joystick axis, 5th axis for here, and get motion from all joysticks, and then the same here. You don't have to copy my name, you can choose to call it whatever you want, but remember what you call it. And then for the vertical, this is the 4th axis, type joystick axis, get motion from all joysticks. So I'm going to go to my player, and I'm going to add a 2D object, a sprite. I'm going to add a circle. I'm going to give it a color for now, just to make it easy to stand out. And I'm going to put it, say, here, and make it a bit smaller. Okay, and I don't need to do anything with that. I don't need to put anything on it, that is. Okay, and then we now need to get it moving, so we're going to add 2 states. Okay, and this will be translate. And this one I'll say get input. With a finish transition on both. Okay, so here we want to translate, and the next frame, just to make sure that it does jump over. And here we want to get axis, and we want to get axis because we're taking input for 2 axes. And then finally, next frame event. Okay, so let's get our get axis on top. Okay, so here we want to make sure we get our names exactly right. So we're going to say we want right hori, paste that in there, and then get our right vertical and pop that in there. Okay, and I'm going to put them here, globals, as new ones. Just call this, like for now, let's call it hori. Just give it a name you prefer. And then I'm going to put, say here for this 8, and for horizontal going up and down, I'm going to invert it so that when I push up, it will move up, and when I push down, it will go down. And then here, same 8, don't need to invert it there, and then new, let's call it vert, and then finished. For here, translate, we're going to get X will be vertical and horizontal, I believe. Finished, and we'll hit play, and hopefully now, when I use my joystick, it will move. So there we go, yeah, left and right. So you can see now, when I use my control stick, I can move this one around, and technically I can move that one around as well. So yeah, and there we go. So that is now set up. Next, so we'll call this target movement. And we're going to add a new FSM called get position. And literally here we just want to get position, and here get position 2D. Game objects, we want find, we want the circle, and I'm going to call that target here. So we can use owner, and we're going to store that in a vector2, and we'll call that target every frame. Yeah, I think that one will be fine like that. I think. Let's just to be safe, we'll add an extra one here, just to make sure that it does update. Okay, so we want the next frame here, and then here just the next frame, and we'll call this update. Finished and finished here. Alright, so that is now sorted. We're going to go to our player next, and we're going to add a new FSM, and we'll call this teleport button. Okay, so for this one, 3 events, or 3 states. Link them around, so it makes a circle. Okay. State 1, we'll say get key, press button. Here we will say teleport, and then here wait. Right, so here we want to get a get key down. And I'm going to be using the controller for this one, so I'm going to use joystick button 1, which should be, sorry, joystick button 0, which will be B on here. And then that's going to go to finished. Here we want to set position. Okay, and we're going to keep it as specify game object. So the game object is going to be use owner because it's on our player, and the vector will be our target. And then a next frame event on here. And then here, what we want to do is set position 2D, and then wait. Now, we want set position 2D because we want to get our target to then jump back to our player rather than being like staying higher up. Okay, so we're going to use numbers here. And this is where we're going to want to check here. So underneath me here, we're going to want to get our X here, so we can copy this value and put it into X here, and then same for the Y. And then we're going to wait, say 3 seconds, finished, done. Okay, so now that will be working. Let's hit play. Okay, so say I want to go over here, go here, go up to here, and you'll see he teleports around. Some reason it's been a bit funny with things, so let's have a look at why. That should just work. Okay, let's get rid of that first, and let's see what happens with that one not being there. Because maybe that's interfering. Okay, so I'll go there, So yeah, so that's what's interfering at the moment. So you can see there that it's working. So then let's do this, add state. Here we'll call this set target. So examples, like in my demo of me doing this to make sure it all works how I wanted it to for this tutorial, that worked absolutely fine. So here let's try set position 2D. And I know why now. Okay, I just realized the issue for that one. Okay, Control Z. And here, because we're setting the owner there, so we want to specify game object and put target in here. That was the issue. And there we go. Because we're just setting our player back in a similar position there. So now this will fully work. So we're going to go up here. I want to teleport here. You'll see it works and my target goes back to next to me. So there we go. We can now teleport around the stage. And obviously I died there. But yeah, that is it. Really simple way to get teleporting working. You could use the mouse input instead to control the target if you wanted. But yeah, anyway, that is it for this tutorial about teleporting. If you have any issues, just leave a comment in the comment section down below or join my Discord server, link in the description, and I will help you out. If you like the video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, really helpful. And until next time, 8-Bit Squid out.